Hello everybody and welcome to Jan's Crafty Corner video group. I promised I would show you how to do the box for the shaker card, what we made. And I just show you mine, then you can, that's the card we made, and that is the box with an acetate insert to make a window. Now, all my boxes, I only ever use the Crafter's Companion big scoreboard. I believe they do a smaller one than this, but this doesn't restrict you what size you can do. It's really good. So that's what I use. It's got a back and a front. The one side has got inches on, the other side is centimetres, so don't get them mixed up. At the bottom you'll see here, it will say box lid, and this side will say box base. Yeah, so that's important that you don't get them wrong. So first of all, I'll show you how I measured my card to know what size card to cut. So I measured this card, and yours should be the same measurement. So I measured this card at 22, and this is centimetres, by 17.5 centimetres. Just let me get my card. I've written it all down somewhere. So we start out with the card at 17.5 centimetres by 22, right? So what happens is, I've determined what depth I want it. So I want it 2 centimetres deep. So of course you've got 2 sides to a box. That's one side, that's other side, and you're going to do them 2 centimetres each. So 2 and 2 is 4, right? It's easy mistaken not to add 2 and 2 on, yeah? So always make sure you double it up. 2 and 2, 4. So I've added my 4 centimetres onto the 17.5, which makes 21.5. And then the 22 centimetres, I've added the 4, which makes it 26. So we've ended up with 21.5 by 26. Okay. If anybody wants me to put this on Facebook, I will. But if you've got pen and paper handy, just take it down. And the important bit, this is why people find they still can't make this box from that board, is because they're not doing this. You always add 0.5 on. So we've ended up with 21.5 by 26. So adding 0.5 on makes it 22 by 26.5. That's centimetres. And you cut both pieces of card for your base. That is why I like this board. For your base and for your lid, the same size. Okay? But that 0.5 is important. Believe me. I don't it's mathematics. I can't really answer why. It's all to do with when you've scored and folded, you seem to lose a bit. So if you add that 0.5 on, it's a perfect fit. Okay. So there's my 2 pieces of card cut. So that's, I've cut those to 22 right by 26.5, and obviously you will need A3 card to make this. You won't be able to do it out of an A4 sheet. Okay, so with them, we've already said that we're going to make the sides 2 centimetres deep. I mostly do 2. It's enough usually. But whatever you need to do, then yeah, obviously add it on. So we find the centimetres on the board, which is this side, and I always do my base first, because what I do, I put it together and then I slip my card into it, because at that stage, if you've got anything wrong, that will show. So I always do my base first so I can test it. Yeah. Don't forget your base is this side. So I always work this way. So what I do, this is personal preference, I turn my board round for my base, because I've ended up more times than not with 2 lids, believe me, because it's just a form of habit. Right, so with them, going to score at 2 centimetres all the way round. Just put my camera down now. So we're going to score at 2. So 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, then turn it over. You know, like we've always said, when you're scoring, score both sides. That way you break the fibres of the card and it eliminates the cracking. So 2, 2, 2, 2. Now, I think everybody probably knows the ropes of doing a box, but to them that don't, I always do the short side and I nick up that crease line, just like that, you see? So where that crease line joins, I nick up to there, yeah? And while I've got it this way, I do the same that side. So up where your score lines meet, you're going to cut it up to that. Yeah. So turn it round and do the same that side. Each end. Okay. Now, see? So this little square here, we're going to almost cut from corner to corner. So you've got a chunk out like that. Can you see that? Yeah. So it's almost, look, from corner to corner. Yeah. And you do that all the way around. If you don't take a big enough chunk out, it tends to stick above your box and don't look very neat. Like so. And then we're going to burnish these score lines. So fold, and with your tool, just give them a nice crease. When you turn these little bits over at the end, make sure they line up with the edge of your box nicely and crease them over. Just make sure that they line up with the edge of your box. Okay, now I always put mine together with wet glue, always. And a friend of mine, Hazel, does add a lot of cards and into teaching like I am. And I saw her using these clips, and I asked her I know some of you use pegs, but these are lovely and strong, and I asked her where she got them from, and she got them from Amazon, and they really are good. Can't remember, there's no name on bag, can't remember what they're called, but they're absolutely perfect. Okay, told you, corners till they've dried. So you're then going to put your wet glue on and put it on each tab. And go back to where you started. Bring your tab up. Get that lined up nicely so it's lined up. So your box here is level. There's no bits sticking up. It's level. And it will be level if you've cut that chunk out properly. Yeah? So then we're going to do that side the same. Put a clip on. And that side. And put a clip on. And that side. Push it together nicely. And put a clip on. And there's no need to put tons of wet glue on, just because it takes longer obviously to dry then. So that's what we've ended up with. Yeah. So I can probably take these off now, but give it a good squeeze. Good squeeze. Don't take long for it to go off. Good squeeze. Good squeeze. Right. And now the tester. There you go. Perfect. It's not sloppy, look. And it's not tight. Just a perfect fit. So that's your base. So that's all hunky-dory. Lovely job. Right. That's your base. Now, for your lid. The first of all, going to score, same thing. Now don't forget, centimetre side and your lid is this side. So always make sure you're scoring on the right side of the board. I don't mean turn it over, I mean left hand, right hand. yeah. Then again, score at 2, score at 2, score at 2, score at 2, turn over, score at 2, score at 2, score at 2, score at 2, right, okie doke. So that's that. Now this is the lid, so we're wanting now to put an acetate insert in the lid. Now if this permits you to go on your machine to put a die to cut it out, that's fine, that's brilliant. But I'm just looking that this is a fraction too wide for it to go on your machine plate. I've got the Go Power couture machine, and this is just that bit too wide, but no worries. Right, first of all, I'll just put the camera back up a minute because I just need to tell you about this cutter. Right, if you've got a trimmer, this is a tonic one. Right, just let me take that one off. If you've got a trimmer what's got those 2 pointers on, can you see them pointers, look, there and there? Right, you can cut an aperture out dead easy. Right, but it must have them pointers either side. This is a tonic one, but I think there's other trimmers what's got the cutting mechanisms like that. Those 2 points, not top and bottom, not talking about them, on the side here, yeah, because it's the side we're going to want the measurements from to cut your aperture. Now we've said that we've scored at 2 centimetres in, and I want another 2 centimetres to cut my aperture out of. So I've got that. So there's my side at 2, and there's my front at 2. So we're going to want to cut 4 centimetres in all the way round with the cutter. Right, dead easy. I'll put my camera down so you can see, hopefully. Right, so what we need to do, we need to first of all go, we've got to find the 4 at the top measurement. Right, so your measurement here, you need to put it to 4, yeah? But then we want 4 up and 4 down, and this is where your little pointers come in. Now we know this card's 26.5, so 4 off is 22.5, yeah? So you're going to start out, what I do, I start a bit less, so, and I'll show you why in a minute. So 22 22.5 is there, so I'll start at 22. But this end, we've got to find the 4, and I stop just before the 4, yeah? So start at 22, push down. I've took me, oh I'm stupid, I've took the wrong cutter off, that's my blade one. So 22, and then stop just before 4, and you've got that, yeah? So then we do it again. Up at the top, you want to set your card to 4, on 4, right? Now we know this is 22 wide, our card, so we need to take 4 off, which is 18. So we start just before 18 and go just before 4 again. That's it. Now, as you can see, look, my corners aren't quite meeting up. I've done that on purpose by not cutting exactly up to the marker, like I've said, just before the 22. Are you with me? Because if you do accidentally overshoot, you're going to get a line with a cut line over where you don't want it. So them corners there, all I'm going to do is finish them off with a knife, dead easy, and then they're perfect, yeah? So again, set it 4 along the top, set your card at 4, right? So your card measures 22, so 4 off is 18, so start just before you're 18, because we don't want to overcut, and stop at just before 4. That way you won't overcut your corners. I learnt all this when I was picture framing, because I used to picture frame and when I was doing mounts. This is how I come to know all this. Right, so start at measurement at top at 4. We know it's your card's 26.5, look. So if you start 4 off 26.5 is 22.5. So start at 22 and stop just before your 4. Right. And there you go. All your 4 sides. Right. I'm just going to bring back my plate so I can finish them with a knife. And all as we do is just put your knife in groove, cut, you're putting your knife in groove where it's cut, and just bringing it to that, and then you've got a perfect corner, look. You've not overcut onto here or here. Right. If you overshoot, you'll get a cut line there, yeah? It's easy done with cutter to overshoot. You've got a lot more control just doing that little bit, with knife. And when you come to end where you cut line joins up, put your knife on its end, because that gives you a nice corner. Right, that applies to a lot of things. You know, if you use a craft knife to cut decoupage out, when you start, lift your knife up on its end and then cut. When you stop, lift your knife on its end, and that way you get a nice finish at the start and the end. You don't get a ragged where it won't come out. Yeah. This is definitely tips I'm giving you is from my past experience of many years in decoupage and picture framing, because I used to do I taught decoupage, and there was pictures I taught, not cards. I've got two on my wall here. I'll try and see if I can move camera to show them you. They're about, I would say about 15, at least 15-year-old. And I made up frames and did up mounts as well. These two I've got here. I'll just go back. That's all. There you go. Lovely aperture look. Lovely and clean. Yeah. Lovely. And that's your bit out the middle. Yeah. So I'll just see if I can move the camera and I can show you the pictures if I can on wall. I don't know whether you'll actually be able to see them properly. That's, just see if I can, that's one of them, and I did the, that's all decoupage. All them frills on that lady's dress or decoupaged, and I made the frame and also cut all the mounts. And then I don't think I'm going to be able to get, no, that one's in wrong place. That's beautiful, that one. It's a vase of flowers. I shall have to see if I can show you that another time. And every petal on them flowers has been cut out. That one took me 18 months to do. Right, see if we can go back to, I'm reminiscing, and I shouldn't be. Right, okay. So, back to this. So now, on the inside, right, we're going to put this strong tape. Now, this is the red liner tape, but that power tape of John's is really good. I've started using that, and that's a blue coloured one, and it's really good. So I'm going to go a little bit in from edge and put this all the way round that aperture. It does need, when you put an acetate winder in, it really does need a strong tape. Like so. Right, we're going to take the red liner off. Oh. All the way around. Right, then we're going to get the acetate, and I've cut the acetate, I'll give it measurements of that. I've cut it 16 centimetres by 20.5 centimetres, so that you've got plenty of overhang over your window, like so, and it don't intrude on your score lines. There you go. So then we're going to do the same thing as we did with the base. Burnish your score lines. Right, then same thing as we did with base. On the short side, I cut up where the score lines meet, and then virtually corner to corner. Yeah. So on other side, cut, and then virtually corner to corner. Turn it round, do the same the other side. Then put your wet glue on each tab. Then make sure you line them up so you don't get any ugly bits stuck up. See, we don't want up here, we want it nice and level. Yeah, we don't want any protruding. Same other side. Put my clip on, give it a good press. Give it a good press. And give it a good press. So remember, this is the perfect size I've given you for the shaker card that you made. But any other card, you do exactly the same. You measure your card. If you're doing it 2 centimetres deep, your box, you need to double that because you've got 2 sides. Does that make sense? So you add 4 on, not 2, 4. And then always, the biggest tip I can give you is add 0.5. That so makes a difference, I can't tell you. And that's where people go wrong. They don't do it. I don't actually think, and I can't swear to it, but I don't think it even tells you that in instructions. It was something I stumbled across and found out for myself. So it's very useful to know that, and believe me, if you've got one of these boxes, once you've mastered it, you'll never put it away. So there's my base, there's my lid. Fits perfect, look. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. So, I hope you've all enjoyed that. And I hope it's been useful to you. Any other board, I'm sorry, but I cannot answer that. Because I only ever use this one. But this, I just love this board. For boxes, I do absolutely all my boxes, no matter what, on this board. And it works for me every single time. So I'll just go through it once more. You want your measurement of your card. Write it down on a bit of paper like I've done here. So you want the length and the width measurement. See? And then you want, if you're doing it 2 centimetres deep, you want 4 adding on to your measurement, not 2, 4. And then the biggest tip of all is the 0.5. So add your 4 on, add that up, and then put your 0.5 on. And that is what you cut your card to, well, both pieces of card. And because the board has got, to the left is the lid, and to the right is the base, right, you can use the same size card because the board does it for you. Okay. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope it's been useful to you. So as you know, the next card kit, number 9 kit, is next Tuesday, all being well, at 3 o'clock. So take care, stay safe, and see you soon. Bye.